Good morning on this Thursday, March the 18th, 2021. Wow, time is flying by. But let it be known, it is Black Press Week in full effect. This week, all week long, the Black Press is meeting. The NNPA's fund is sponsoring Black Press Week with the title Black Business Challenges, Responsibilities, and Opportunities Amidst COVID-19 Pandemic. You can still register. It's still free. Virtual NNPA2021.com. Go on, register your friends, your family, your children, everybody. Join us for Black Press Week. And speaking of joining us, of course, as we do every morning, our president and CEO, Dr. Benjamin Chavis. Good morning, Dr. Chavis.
Good morning, Stacy. And on behalf of the National Newspaper Publishers Association, we welcome everyone to Let It Be Known, this special edition. We shout out to the NNPA Fund, the National Newspaper Publishers Association Fund, our 501c3. We congratulate them on 2021 Black Press Week.
Yes, indeed. Please register NNPA, virtual NNPA2021.com. Dr. Chavis, our headlines this morning. At just 12 years old, Alina Wicker is set to start college at Arizona State University, majoring in astronomical and planetary science and chemistry. 12 years old. She plans to be an engineer for NASA. She says, I've always dreamed of being an engineer because throughout my life, I like the building. All her life, 12 years old. Since she
12
was
years
four,
old. That's great.
Since she was 4, it had always been her dream as she was building NASA-sized Legos. When Elena finished high school through homeschool classes, she began pursuing that dream and will be starting classes at ASU this summer. She expects to finish college at the age of 16. She says, I'll be driving in one of those future space mobiles by the time I graduate college. And more than that, Elena is also very active on her Facebook page where she plans to launch a podcast to share her journey. Dr. Chavis, amazing.
Amazing. This is Women's History Month, and we salute Black women and all women. And this is a young sister majoring in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And hopefully she will serve as a great inspiration to millions of other young sisters in our community and our families who also have aspirations to be scientists, engineers, and other STEM fields.
Yeah, out of the mouths of babes, right, Dr. Chavis?
Absolutely.
And
well, we're a blessed people. That's why we celebrate our history. And this year is the 194th year of the Black Press of America. And that's what the Black Press does. We lift up those stories that the mainstream press will not cover. We plead our own cause through the Black Press.
Absolutely. Of course, well said. Dr. Lavinia A. Range has been recognized by the Georgia Senate as the 152nd president of the Georgia Dental Association. A general dentist from Augusta, Georgia, Dr. Range is the association's first female African-American president. According to the Atlanta Voice, Dr. Range has practiced in the Augusta area for 30 years, where she maintains a private practice. Dr. Lavinia Range is a living history maker and servant of the people of Georgia, said Senator Lester Jackson during his formal presentation of Senate Resolution 142, which he sponsored to commend Dr. Range for her leadership in the dental and healthcare community. Dr. Range is has been a member of the association for more than 30 years and has served as president-elect of the association from 2019 to 2020 and has held multiple leadership positions, including president of the GDA's Eastern District. Again, Dr. Chavis, a Black woman making history during Women's History Month.
Absolutely. That's the best way to celebrate history, is to make more history.
Absolutely. And another note, legendary singer-songwriter Anita Baker has asked fans, get this, to stop buying her music while she is battling for the rights to her masters from her label. She says, miraculously, I have outlived all of my artists' contracts. They no longer own my name. They no longer own my likeness. And by law, 30-year-old masters are to be returned to me, Anita Baker said. She said that she will continue this fight. Unfortunately, she says they're going to make me fight, and I'm prepared to do just that. She says, please don't advertise or buy them. The Detroit native said that by law, she has fulfilled all of her contracts, and she should have her masters. Masters are the original recordings of musicians of their work, which recording labels use to make vinyl records, tapes, CDs, and stream through different service providers such as Spotify and Apple Music. Artists don't usually have the rights to their masters at the beginning of their careers, as labels cover the distribution costs, and they usually receive royalties from the sale. But Anita Baker has joined a long list of artists who feel that they are not receiving a fair share of the revenue from streaming services, entering long drawn-out fights with label executives. Most notably was the very public, contentious fight between industry giants and the artist Prince for rights over his masters, with the late artist taking down his music from all streaming services and having his fan base boycott his own music. Anita Baker says that while streaming services rake in millions of dollars, she is getting the bargains short end. She broke down streaming services rates, calling them thieves in the temple, whose use her name and likeness for advertising. Thieves in the Temple happens to be a title of one of Prince's hit songs. So Dr. Chavis, Anita Baker is in this drawn out fight, and certainly she has every right to want to own her masters.
Absolutely. We should try to get in touch with Anita Baker. I would love to bring her on the program so we can show her support. She's a great, talented artist, and we applaud her courage. She needs to stand up for her rights, because when one artist stands up for their rights, it applies benefit to all the artists to get their rights. We know we are blessed people. We have artistic talent, but unfortunately, other people go to the bank off of our talent. And this is a constant struggle of entertainment and artists in the music and entertainment industry. So salute to Anita Baker.
Yeah, Dr. Chavis, and you work with many artists, hip hop artists, and I know that your counsel has been just that, to make sure that you own your intellectual properties.
Absolutely. It's a very important thing, no matter what your age and no matter how long you've been in the industry. If you're just going in or if you've been in there for a long time, you have to protect your intellectual property. You have to protect your rights as a entertainer, as a producer, or whatever you feel. You have to make sure that those contracts give you the rights to your creativity, to your content. At the end of the day, content is queen and king.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to say good morning to Joni King, James Wright, Bobby Henry down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Of course, our executive administrator, Claudette Perry. Michelle Madison's always good to see you. Annette Phillips, and all of our viewers. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, NMPA2021.com, virtual NMPA2021.com. It's Black Press Week. Join us. The registration is free, and we are welcoming everybody to join us. The NMPA Fund is hosting Black Press Week. Now we're going to speak to an African-American entrepreneur who founded Goal Setter with a mission to get every family in America to save money. We're going to say good morning to Tanya Van Court. Good morning.
Good morning, Stacey. How are you this morning? Good morning, Dr. Chavis.
Good morning, Sister Tanya, and thank you for your leadership in a very important field of endeavor.
Absolutely.
So, Ms. Van Court, tell us about Goal Setter.
So Goal Setter was started when my 8-year-old daughter said, Mommy, for my 9th birthday, I really only want 2 things. And I said, what's that? And she said, enough money to save for an investment account and a bike. And I thought to myself, if I can get every Black child to say that, I can change the world. So Goal Setter is a saving, financial education, smart spending, because it comes with a debit card for teens and tweens, and soon to be investment platform created especially for our kids.
Wow. Oh, that's great. That's great. You know, the whole financial services sector needs more diversity, needs more inclusion, needs more ownership. And you've developed this platform. That's a great idea. And I'm hoping that young people will take full advantage of it.
It absolutely needs more presence of Black folks who are serving Black folks, because we understand our children. We understand how to engage and excite our children in a way that other people haven't for the past 100 years. We have a kid here in Brooklyn. Her name is Sadeh. She's 12 years old. And when she was asked, what do you love best about Goal Setter? She said, the thing that I love best is that Goal Setter teaches me things about money I never knew I was supposed to know. I thought money was all about saving some and spending some, but now I know it's about compound interest and frugality and the rule of 72. So she went from talking about how we use money to how we grow money. Mm-hmm. Goal Setter is so much more than just a debit card. We provide that for kids to teach them about spending, but most importantly, we teach them about saving and investing on top of that ability to spend responsibly.
Wow. And so, Tanya Van Court, you said your daughter made this request at such a young age. Talk about the importance of that, because many households, that discussion doesn't happen until much later, if at all.
You know, that discussion doesn't happen, and it's quite frankly not happening in all households across America. So we should not feel any way if it's not happening in our particular household. 70% of middle-class African Americans are projected to have a child that falls out of the middle class. But listen, 90% of wealthy families in America are projected to lose their wealth by the third generation. So, you know, this is rampant throughout America, whether you are in Berkeley or in Brooklyn. What Goal Setter does is we every single week that they can take together. And so as a parent, if you don't really know how to talk to your kids about finances, you can have this quiz that gives you a step-by-step, fun, engaging questions to complete with your kids. And we do it all through memes and GIFs from hip hop artists, social media influencers, YouTube personalities. So when Beyonce says, can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bills? We use that to explain Beyonce wouldn't need anyone to pay her bills. If she would just save for an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of her expenses, she could pay her for her own bills. So it's engaging and fun.
Well, no question, Beyonce can pay for all of our bills right now, right? William Carrington, Tanya Van Court, is asking, could you inform him a little bit more on the rule of 72?
I am happy to. So the rule of 72 tells you how long it takes for your money to double. If you divide 72 by the interest rate that you invest your money at, or the average interest rate and return of that particular financial vehicle, that tells you how long it takes your money to double. So if you put your money into a savings account today, at today's rates, your money will take, about 150 years to double, right? Let's say if a savings account is yielding you a 0.5% interest, which it isn't even, but let's say it was 0.5%, then it would be about 140 years to double. If you put your money into the stock market, which has over the past 50 years yielded about a 7% return every year, your money will take 10 years to double. It teaches our kids in very easy terms what they have to do to build wealth. Saving isn't good enough. Investing is a necessity.
Wow, there you go. Michelle Madison loves this Black finance discussion. She says, I recently started an investment account for my grandchildren. Any advice?
Oh, that's fantastic. Here's what I would tell you. That investment account for your grandchildren is great. You are helping them to grow wealth at a very early age. Now they need to learn what to do with that investment account once they get it. And that's why you need to sign them up for a Goal Setter account. And by the way, grandparents can do this on behalf of their grandkids, aunts, uncles, godparents. It doesn't have to be your own child. You just set up the Goal Setter account, download the app, and invite the kid of your choice or multiple kids. We know that life insurance companies struggle with paying out their death benefit, because that death benefit is used up within 5 years typically. And they want to even do more with Goal Setter around financial education for those people who are inheriting the death benefit. With respect to the investment account that you've set up for your grandkids, it's the same principle. It's great to grow the wealth, but now they're going to need to know what to do with wealth. Goal Setter gives them a whole financial set of lessons in addition to a savings account and a debit card, so that they get all of that all in one.
Wow. And Donna Johnson says it's a great platform. She's enjoying this, Tanya Van Court. She says it would require not only young people to use it, we need adults like parents and teachers to introduce it to them and to help them to learn the value. This is some great information, Tanya Van Court. How is your company, and explain to them how your company is different from others in the industry?
I love that you asked that question. I mean, the first thing is there are no other companies in the industry focused on kids finance that are Black woman owned. We just typically don't get the funding, quite frankly. And so all of the other companies are white male owned. If you have, a debit card for your kid from Greenlight or any of those other companies, they are not us. We have struggled to get here, but now that we're here, we have the best product in the marketplace. It applies to every kid in your platform and 16-year-olds on our platform. We even have some 19-year-olds on our platform because they went to college and their parents said they really need Goal Setter. And for the entire family, that's the first way. The second way is no other kids debit card or financial product has financial education attached to it. Ours is the only one that does. And in fact, our debit card, yes, it comes in red, black, and green. Yes, it's called the Cashola card. But the reason it's groundbreaking is that it comes with a rule attached to it called Learn Before You Burn. If you set this up as a parent or grandparent, on Sunday morning, your kid's card will automatically freeze if they haven't taken their financial literacy quiz for the week yet. And the minute they take that quiz, their card will unfreeze again. My grandmother used to say, you got to do what you need to do before you can do what you want to do. And we think it's super important for our kids to learn what they need to, which is all about saving and investing and growing their wealth before they do what they want to, which is about, swiping that debit card.
Wow. Dr. Chavis, she is extremely excited about talking about finance. I love it.
Absolutely. And Tanya, as I listened very attentively to your presentation, I was saying, look, this is not only good for kids and grandchildren, this is good for adults too. Lord have mercy. I was just talking to some of our publishers yesterday and asked them if they had an investment account. And some gave me a little slow answer. I think that, listen, you're never too old to learn. So I would encourage intergenerational support of what you're doing, Tanya Van Court. It is so transformative to start building wealth. And can you talk about the different age and how you can learn this financial literacy? Because sometimes we learn from our children. You teach the children, then the children can teach the parents.
Dr. Chavis, now I know why you have made such a profound impact on our community, because you're right on. When we started Goal Setter, we were just for kids of all ages. We have found that we have kids of all ages. We have, 0 to 5 years old. You set up your first savings account for kids and let family members and friends gift them goal cards instead of gift cards, which is real money towards real dreams in a real FDIC insured account. So instead of teaching our kids, here's how to spend money, we are teaching our kids, you get 10 goal cards on your birthday worth $20 each. That's $200 in a savings account. We're going to teach you how to save for meaningful things, save for goals, be goal-oriented, delayed gratification. We are teaching all of those things. Well, listen, parents are seeing those things, to your good point. And so parents see, they're saving money for their newborns. Once that kid is between 5 and 10 years old, they start to earn allowance money, and that kid starts to become interested in saving through Goal Setter. Once that kid hits 8 years old, then that kid is doing financial literacy quizzes. They're getting a debit card, but they're having to take quizzes and learn about financial education before they can use that debit card. All of these are fantastic habits that we're helping parents to develop in kids. And then parents start to look in the mirror and say, wait a minute, I need to be doing more of this myself. And in fact, we found that even though we started for kids, 80% of the parents on our platform said, I love Goal Setter so much for my kids that I want to use it to save for my own goals too. So to your good point, we are drawing in parents and we are getting the entire family to establish a savings culture, one that feels good, one that grandma can give to, auntie can give to. We're transforming the way that we are doing money in Black families.
Wow,
that's great. That's great. That's a great platform, great message. And you're a great mother. I mean, you have your own children, but what you're doing, you're providing a motherhood counseling, mentorship, apprenticeship for millions of our youth. That's helping to create wealth and protect that wealth and transfer that wealth from one generation to the next. That's great.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, because let me tell you, I left a big career at Nickelodeon and a big career at Discovery Education to do this, not because I ever wanted to be an entrepreneur, but because I care deeply about our children. And, you know, it is not easy to be a Black woman entrepreneur, but these are the sacrifices that we all have to make in order for us to bring each other along and bring our children along collectively. It takes a village, and every one of us has to look at ourselves in the mirror at some point and say, how can we give back? And that's what we've been doing with Goal Setter. How can we give back? How can we bring our children along? And how can we do it better than anyone else can, right? We just got back what's called a Net Promoter Score, Dr. Chavis, and our Net Promoter Score tells us how popular or how good your brand is to the people who use you. 50 or above is considered excellent. 70 or above is considered world class. So USAA is a 73. Costco is a 74. Apple is a 68. Ritz-Carlton is a 68. I am so proud to report that Goal Setter is a 73. So we are bringing world-class products to our community. They're not getting the worst of what the financial institutions and financial services sector has to offer. They're getting the best, and it's brought by a Black mother, as you said, who's going to sprinkle all of that Black love on top of it and make sure that our children are getting exactly what they need by the time that they leave your house at 18 to be financially prepared and financially free.
Wow. You know, I'm loving the enthusiasm as much as I love the information. And I think our viewers are really responding. I saw where David Youngblood said, yes, yes. He gave a double yes. And Joni King says, I was considering green light for my children, but I made my decision. And, you know, you have others, James Wright. They're all looking now. They're going to be calling you up. So.
Stacey, have Tanya give us again how to get in touch with our platform and with our product.
Absolutely. So you can find Goal Setter online at goalsetter.co, and we can tell you, so much more about the platform and the service when you go there. You can also just go download the app right now. Goalsetter.co on the App Store, on the Google Play Store. We're available on both. We're available on tablet devices. We're available on phones. Anywhere where you can download an app, you can get Goal Setter. And the third thing that you can do is, if you are a grandmother or a fabulous auntie and you just want to give Goal Setter as a gift to a kid you love, you can go onto our website and click Give a Gift. And when you click Give a Gift, you can put in an email address of your best friend, your sister, whoever that parent is, and you can send a goal card to a kid who you love. You get to not only choose a piece of artwork from our site for that goal card, you can upload a video or a photo, a GIF, and send off that goal card to a kid you love and say, hey, baby, because Auntie loves you, I am setting you up with the first $50 in an account that's going to help you to save towards your dreams and be the next generation of saver and investor. And you can gift them a goal card and gift them a Goal Setter account. So those are all the ways that you can interact with us. Everybody has a kid in your lives. If we don't get 1 million Black and brown kids saving and investing, and if it's not 1 million, it actually needs to be 11 million, because every kid in our community needs this.
Wow. Awesome. Tanya, do you have any tips or advice for other women of color who may just now be starting their own venture?
Absolutely. The tips and advice I have are, you've got to find your people. And what I mean by that is, it is not an easy journey. Let's be clear, right? My competitors have raised between $50 million and $300 million over the past 5 years. We've raised 6. And by the way, the majority of that came in the last 6 months. We raised almost a $4 million round in the past 6 months. And we raised it from Kevin Durant and Chris Paul and Robert F. Smith, and fantastic luminaries and activists and leaders in our community who have said, look, we don't care what those other folks have raised. We don't care that the venture capitalists in Silicon Valley don't want to fund Goal Setter. we believe in our own, and we are going to support our own, and we believe in Tanya, and we believe that what she's doing is going to make a difference in our community, unlike what other people bring to our community. That's what I mean by finding your people. You got to find your people who will support you and who will march arm in arm with you, because it's a lonely journey and you need soldiers right there on the battlefield with you. And our community is that's what we know how to do. We know how to march, and we know how to get over that bridge.
Absolutely. Sister Tanya, I'm so glad you mentioned some of the well-known brothers and sisters in our community that are helping you. Kevin Durant, I hope you know, met his mother. His mother's had her on the Chavez Chronicles, which is a sister program on PBS. But I think it's so great what you're doing, and I just want to give you credit for a thought that I just heard after listening to you, where everyone says it takes a village to raise a child. That's true. But what you're teaching us is that once we empower our kids, once we empower our children with knowledge and information, particularly wealth building, it takes empowered and strengthened kids to raise the village. The village also needs to be raised. And our children, if they give them the right information at an early age, they will help improve and transfer and transform the quality of life of our people.
That is absolutely right. If you don't know better, you can't do better. And so when we teach them to know better, they can help us all to do better.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, Tanya Van Court, we thank you so much for joining us this morning. And again, we encourage everyone to come to Black Press Week at virtualnnpa2021.com. We really appreciate this fantastic information this morning. Dr. Chavez, our Women's History Month shout out goes to Alfrey Woodard. Alfrey Woodard is an actress, producer, and political activist who is widely considered in the film industry to be one of the most versatile and dynamic actors of her time. Throughout her career, spanning a period of 50 years, Alfrey Woodard has acted in numerous stage plays, feature films, television films, and series, receiving numerous awards and nominations for her performances. She was nominated for an Academy Award and a Grammy Award once, and 18 times for an Emmy Award. She has won 4 Emmys, 1 Golden Globe, as well as 3 Screen Actor Guild Awards. Alfrey Woodard often makes appearances in politically charged dramas because of her ability to induce dignity into any scene or storyline she performs. Her breakthrough role came in the 1983 drama Cross Creek, for which she earned an Academy Award nomination. Along with her stellar film career, Alfrey Woodard has also had a flourishing television acting career. Her most famous TV role to date being Dr. Roxanne Turner in the NBC medical drama Saint Elsewhere. She remains a political activist and advocate for civil rights. She co-founded Artists for a New South Africa, which aims at propagating equality and women's rights in the country. Alfrey Woodard is also a board member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. We shout out Alfrey Woodard. Let it be known, to gain wisdom is better than gaining silver, and having it as a prophet is better than having gold. We will see you tomorrow.